Griefing. Now that's a gamer word. No one's made a video about this or remotely talked about it. It's commonly used in multiplayer video games, but it's sort of a taboo word in tabletop. The only time you'll really hear about this word being used is from frustrated players talking about combat. Me just mentioning it is a red flag to a few people. You might be wondering, well, what is it? Well, it's actually quite simple. Welcome to Pack Tactics. I don't care that you put down web and have people restrained. I'm burning it with firebolts. This is what my character would do. This is a very good summary of what griefing is. It's trolling. You are intentionally sabotaging your own team in some way, and that can be very small things too. It's actually really broad in tabletop games. DMs and players can both grief in some way. The reason why I use the word griefing instead of trolling is because it's a stronger negative word. It can even be related to roleplay, like for example, the stereotypical lawful stupid paladin actively going against the party. I'm sure everyone has heard of these stories before. Arbol just told me about his experience with them, and it was all because he was playing a demon race shadow sorcerer. He says, we were in a dungeon, the enemies focused on me because I was concentrating on a spell. I got downed. The fight ended and the players wanted to help me up, but the paladin stopped them. He tied me up, took my spell focus, and gagged me so I couldn't cast spells. Only then did he heal me back to consciousness. The paladin said,
You will pay for your evil deeds.
Kobold, he didn't sound like that.
Yes, he did. Arbol told me. Anyways, so we abandoned the dungeon, returned to the capital, and I was brought before the Inquisition. I was judged and executed. Like, guys, come on. Even the DM was griefing him because he was playing along with this. Then there's the other players. They're in the middle here, but they should have called it out for what it is. It's griefing. Actively sabotaging the party. Arbol made the right move by leaving the table. I think everyone is on board that this is unacceptable behavior from the paladin and the DM. They're both cringe. I'd even say the neutral players are cringe for not standing up for Arbol. If they did, that could have maybe saved the whole game. But Kobold, you know what isn't cringe? Kobold Quest, from Ashes to Empire, where you play as kobolds. Yip. That's right, this is Kobold Quest 2. It's a level 6 to 12 campaign that lets you build your own kingdom, and you get to slay gnomes.
Yip, hooray!
It's not required to play the first one, but I think you should because I'm in the first book. You can find me in the bakery. Spoilers. Anyways, if you play your cards right, your settlement can become an empire, be it through making friends with everyone and forging alliances, or you can kill everyone and be a tyrant. The point is, this is a fun sandbox adventure where your choices truly matter. There's no wrong way to tackle an obstacle. You even have choices for what kind of system you want to use. It's compatible with 5e, both Pathfinder games, and OSR.
Kobold, we can use this with Worlds Without Number.
Absolutely, and there's more. New Kobold-themed feats. New magic items to discover. New traps and poisons to take advantage of. The guy who makes these books loves traps and poisons, so I highly recommend reading them. And of course, new monsters to slay. And lastly, backers can create characters for this book, be it merchants, quest givers, or even important plot characters. That's right, your kobold can be an official character in this book, which is really fun. Kobold Quest is now live on Kickstarter. I really want this book. I'm really happy with the first one, so I'm donating to this one as well. I want to run this with Worlds Without Number in the future. Come support the bolts with me. Yip. Back to the video. Let me be very clear. Someone picking bad features and or spells and using them in combat does not mean they're griefing. It has to do with team sabotage, especially with intents like the obvious one with the paladin or the guy burning down web. I am not talking about suboptimal builds here. If you want to play a suboptimal build, you can do that. It's your character. D&D is a very easy game 90% of the time, and there's a lot of room for mistakes depending on the table.
But Kobold, I don't understand why burning web is bad. They're all in there, and I do damage to all of them.
I'm very glad you asked. That is an incredibly optimal question if you actually don't understand. Because it shows that you do care about your team and you want to understand. So, if you burn web, you are undoing your teammate's spell. You can only do that when the team is fine with you burning web, especially the caster of web. You can make a case why burning web is good here, sure. But if they all say no, especially the caster, don't do it. Sometimes griefing is not intentional at all. It's just people haven't thought about it as griefing, so you politely tell them while using the word. A perfect example a lot of people have experienced is the caster uses sleep and shuts down 3 wolves. Those wolves are clearly out of the fight for a full minute. Then on the next turn, the fighter walks up and whacks one of the sleeping wolves rather than the actual active threat. That's a common thing you'll see new players do. That is technically griefing, but it's usually not intentional at all. They think they're helping. They don't know that they're sabotaging the spell. If you point that out to them politely, they will realize what they're doing and not attack the sleeping wolves. This is completely fine, and now they learned something new about the game. I think you guys get the point. You know what griefing generally looks like now. We can actually go on for a very long time, and of course people have different views on the matter.
But Kobold, what about optimizers bullying players and calling them useless like in Mr. E's comments?
Obviously, people shouldn't bully anyone and call them useless, even if they're griefing. That makes the optimizers wrong. You don't do that at actual tables. That's cringe. So, 3 of the players are playing good builds. It's just 1 player playing something bad. Mr. E is the most optimal because he doesn't bully anybody. After thinking about this for a while from the optimizer's perspective, I've concluded it's not really that big of a deal. Everyone is still alive, and Mr. E is willing to meet you guys in the middle. You guys are completely fine. This sounds like an optimal party. Bullying is unacceptable, just like griefing. Calm down. Instead of optimizing your builds or combat, you need to optimize for the health of the game right now. Being toxic is suboptimal.
What do you think we should do to prevent griefing?
Communication, using the correct tone, and transparency are the keys you need to solve this. Everyone needs to be on the same page when it comes to the game.
That's why we have session 0.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not good enough, like in Arbel's case. So if you see griefing in any session, you point that out and say that's griefing. Try to be polite about it though, but still use that word. It sets a strong tone that shows that you are clearly bothered by this. If it doesn't work, make a compromise or politely leave the game. I personally think you should leave the game if the griefing doesn't stop, because it's unacceptable in the team game. You should not let bullshit slide. D&D is for everyone except for griefers and bullies. These destructive behaviors kills our games. End of video. Thank you Arbel and Mr. E for sharing these stories with us. Maybe I should share community posts more often on video. Anyways, bye-bye.
Guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. With enough support, Kobold might animate stories more often. I really like them. I think they're really funny. Anyways, I stole Kobold's car. If you donate to Kobold's Patreon, I will steal that too, so please do that. Also, don't forget to check out Kobold Quest. It's got kobolds in it. Anyways, bye-bye.